I now have the motivation to speak on the State of the Union address given by Mr. Trump while I was eating meatloaf, frozen dinner Stouffer's. Are we concerned with the stocks as of present, sir? The thing that stood out in my mind while watching the end of his speech was he said, I believe that this terrorist organization is doing a lot of help for our country, so to speak. And also, tariffs are bringing in a great income into our country. These type of words. Other than that, uh, the cheering of this audience in the House of the Senate, cheering on and looking away because it is live, and then your security detail in my face trying to intimidate me as if I were right there. And then this man holding up his phone for a selfie over my head at this and the sort, and that woman really got under my skin with her fist in the air, supporting these sideways implications towards me. I really do not like seeing all of these people up to the top clapping applause. Your response from the Democratic Party. Firstly, she is trespassing on our planet and in conversation on level 2, or maybe I was wanting. While she was speaking, proving to everyone that she knows what's going on in our country, uh, her background experience up until now, claiming that she was CIA, did not involve any activities I would consider CIA other than this double agent passing information at the second rank of enlisted army. Does this make sense to anyone, sir or ma'am? It did to me. So, let's just press stop now because the US government is non existent in terms of in our minds and in our hearts. I agree. It is only at these times when it looks like a functioning government with a man with up to 3 instances of this process with efforts to throw him out of office, which you are blanking me in order to prevent me from saying it, did not actually win the US election for president last year. It was decided by the news, if anybody recalls. Just to speak on our own matters here in the United States for once, this barren country of 2 million people, of which are becoming more positive, living out in the plains and in and around forests, who also, I think, desire the change that we want in America. Not only are we shooting for the income objective of 86,000 across the planet, we are also ignoring your vernacular when it comes to it's the middle class people, Democrats. Let's shoot high in terms of our ambitions. Let's lend out a helping hand, right, Miss Harris? Do you see where your mindset is at? We are shooting for 86,000, which you could already consider upper middle class, but that is the median. Oh, just shy above us, is it? When the focus of the rhetoric of the US government is to bring back corporations to the United States, saying fuck you to China, when we are moving there to Beijing to establish it as the capital of the planet, and you have all of these corporations selling their stocks out of New York. And how are the stock prices these days? As formalization admiral, of course, this is like basic UL. We are shooting for more companies with more markets, not trying to reel everybody back in to doing operations in the United States because we are not in competition with the other states on the planet. We are all in concerns with and bringing it all up, are we not? Your rhetoric and your cheering crowds. Of course, yes, thank you. People think these days it's all about what goes on with DFPs, the formalization leader, isn't it? Not the shit that you see on TV involving our local governments, correct? Just a reminder to myself, giving myself the opportunity to by speaking of what I just saw, and how angry it makes me to see it still in existence, even though it's only for the news. Four years in office? We think 2.5 years to completion after integration for starters. And the objectives of formalization, what are we shooting for here in comparison to what I thought of in these words as your franchise vernacular? Does everyone understand what that means? Your theme involving freedom. And on level 2, while speaking simultaneously, hearing language that sounds quite villainous and comical and stupid and ridiculous. They are so fine, wouldn't you agree? Such a chocolate. Far from anything of the sort, right? Just to remind ourselves of what we are going through in every state currently when it comes to criminals operating these old systems of government, which we are getting rid of, right? Apply pressure to the PML objectives of the captains and myself. Yes, 3,000,001. Of course, it's not exactly, but looking at what we have to get rid of, you want to make it feel like an impossible task when it comes to how does it hand over. Currently, we don't give a shit. We need our PMLs to won their deaths so we can acquire their assets and continue forward in the direction of that situation, don't we, sirs and ma'ams? And what situation are we going through? The variability of, in lieu of government welfare income, the variability of Mr. Williams. Currently, Miss Lagarde has no play in it. And his addiction to myself. His daughter has not been involved as of the last 2 days, I think. And you quoted that the obsidian is really kicking your ass and you don't know how much longer you can take it. Correct, sir? Surprise, surprise. Good evening.